here's her baseline weight as of the time of execution of this agreement. Damn. And I wondered if she was did what a wrestler does. Like, did she did she bulk up right before and then cut when she eventually got divorced? Like, is she in there with sauna, with the suit on? But the appellate court essentially said, I don't know why you married this person, having had them make you sign this, but it's binding.
Yeah.
But it's binding.
I wish somebody would do a contract like that. Like the rent for this place would be more expensive if I was fatter and cheaper if I was skinnier, and that way I would have to weigh in. It'd be
motivation. Keep, some motivation on you.
Yeah, exactly. That's that kind of prenup is motivating.
Well, what's his name? I think Tim Ferriss says that about how he does he said you should make bets with people. It's like, if you gain this much, I got to give you this amount of money, I think he says that in one of his early books.
And try to make it binding somehow, which is tough.
Yeah. Well, I think when we create incentives of that kind, that's why there was the no nut November, no shave November, sober, all those. Yeah. It was a competition. When people make a competition of something, they gamify something. It makes it something that people are more likely to stick with.
So this is interesting that I don't know who the wealthy man made his intending wife sign a prenup that if she gained 10 pounds, she'll lose $10,000 from whatever she was set to gain when they divorce. Now, some people may think, well, I've never heard this before, but if you really think about it, women tend to let themselves go. Not all women, but a lot of women tend to let themselves go when they get married. Let's be real. Women let themselves go when they get married. Men too, to some degree, but more so, it's more evident in women. I don't know what happened. Maybe, okay, you can say, well, after, they have children, they put some weight on, but then most women don't really do anything about that baby weight. They just keep it on. So here you are, a man, you meet this woman, she's working out, she's fit, she's in good health, and you're attracted to her and on all the levels. And then you guys get married. And whether or not she has kids, she starts putting weight on. And she doesn't seem to want to do anything about it for the most part. Now, for you feminists come for me. I'm not talking about all women, but we know that majority of women and some men let themselves go after they get married. So this wealthy man, he knows. So I don't know why he linked it to, because I guess he wants her to maintain her good health, in good health. Maybe there's a specific reason why he set that up in the prenuptial agreement, but that she agreed to it. So she went in knowing that these were the stipulations for her to, if she gained 10 pounds, that $10,000, every 10 pounds that she gained during the marriage will come off from the whatever she's set to receive if they were to divorce. So it may sound harsh, but if you are in your right mind and your right faculties and you agree to it, then you agree to it. Is all I'm saying, right? So let's continue.
I guess a prenup be interesting. The problem is there's also people put in prenups what's called fidelity clauses.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fidelity clauses, people still do these. I discourage people from doing them. They're the two things that people put in prenups that I discourage people from putting in prenups, but very often people still put in prenups, even with my caveat, is fidelity clauses and sunset clauses.
Mm-hmm.
So fidelity clauses is, I'm waiving alimony, I'm waiving this, I'm waiving that. But if you cheat, I get $1 million, or I get this much alimony, or I get this amount. And I know the intention is to disincentivize the person from cheating. It's a deterrent to have them cheat. But all it really does is just creates an interesting legal battle for lawyers. How did you prove that they cheated or not?
Oh, right. Because what constitutes cheating also.
Right. Is an emotional affair an affair? Is oral sex cheating? Is, what is, and by the way, how do you prove it? Like,
Right.
well, I was in a hotel with her, but how do you prove that I had sex with her? You know, like, and it's very, very, you're opening a can of worms with that kind of a thing, but people sometimes still put them in. And sunset clauses. Sunset clauses is if we're married X period of time, this goes away, as if it never existed.
And why is that a bad idea?
The same reason the community property law in California is a bad idea. So the community property law is after a certain number of years, I think it's 7, everything, including your premarital property, all becomes marital property.
Wow.
And the idea of that was supposed to be that if you've been married that number of years, like you're in enough of a serious relationship now that everything is one unit, you're one person. What it actually does is creates a very uncomfortable thought experiment that people have to have at the 6-year mark.
Very interesting. So everything, the sunset law or clause, everything goes away after 7 years. Well, meaning that what's separate becomes joint. Now it's if you divorce, everything I guess will go 50-50. Very interesting. Now talking about infidelity, you really think if the person wants to cheat, they're not going to cheat regardless of you have that clause in your prenuptial? If the person's going to cheat, they're going to cheat anyway. So I agree with what he says. Like it doesn't really deter. If the person is in them to cheat, they will cheat regardless of having a prenuptial agreement with that specific clause inside of it.
Because you have to, now the honeymoon's kind of over. You might have a kid or two. And you go, okay, wait a minute. Am I so happy in this relationship that I'm willing to take all of my premarital assets and throw them in the pot right now? Because if not, I got 6 months to get divorced.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, and that's not, so like if you say to someone, like if you got married tomorrow and then you found a company that's worth $100 million and under your prenup, that's your separate property. But there's a sunset clause that says that your prenup goes out the window in 15 years. Man, at year 14 and 6 months, you got to ask yourself some serious questions about where's this relationship going to be in 5-10 years.
That's brilliant. And that's why, kids, you pay for a lawyer.
That's it. We get paid to see around corners, you know? I get paid to be paranoid. I tell people that all the time.